Thinking about starting a nonprofit, but not sure what you need to have ready before you start? Give me the next 8 minutes and I will walk you through the 8 things that you need to have in place before you create your nonprofit. Hey, I'm Dan Johnson with Next Level Nonprofits, and I have helped over 30 business owners and professionals launch their dream and create sustainable nonprofits. If you just want the goods, drop me below and I'll give you my sustainable nonprofit startup checklist, everything that you need to do before you launch your nonprofit to make sure not only are you able to create a nonprofit, but that nonprofit lasts. That checklist is below this video, just drop me. Now, over the next 8 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the 8 key things that you need to do before you file for nonprofit status. So if you got your pen and paper ready, let's go. First is you need to decide who the primary contact for the nonprofit is. This is going to be the person who is the incorporator or the main name on all of your documents. And if you're the founder, that's likely going to be you, but you want to decide who that is before you get into the filing process. The second thing you need 3 total board members. Now, this is a little bit different than for-profits because in for-profits, you can have a sole proprietorship or a single owner, but in nonprofits, you share ownership with 2 other people. Who do you look for these board members? You look for either people who are going to be deeply involved in your nonprofit or friends and family because these board members share ownership of your nonprofit with you. And the more people you add in to share ownership of your nonprofit with you, the more bureaucracy you run into. So you need 2 people that you trust who will be willing to sign their name to your board, and then you are the 3rd board member. Number 3, you're going to need 3 officers. This is going to vary slightly by state, but the 3 officers you need in every state are going to be the president who runs the board and the meetings, going to be the treasurer who produces monthly and yearly financial reports for the organization, and the secretary who takes notes at the meetings and keeps copies of your corporate documents. These are all really simple roles at the start of a nonprofit. They take less than an hour a month of the treasurer's time and less than 4 hours a month for the secretary and the president. And for new nonprofits, your 3 initial board members can also be your president, your secretary, and your treasurer, but you do need to designate who is who before you get ready to file. The 4th thing you'll need is you'll need a physical address and a mailing address. Now, if you have a business office already planned out, then they can be one and the same, but you're required to have both a physical address for the state to send you documents or send you services of process, and you're required to have a mailing address where other people can mail you things and contact you. What I recommend for nonprofits who do not have an office planned already is to have a registered agent for your physical address, which is a business that presents their address, so you don't have to use your home address for this. And you have a personal mailbox for your mailing address, which looks fantastic on a business card and gives you a suite number instead of a P.O. box. But you'll need to have both your physical and your mailing address in mind before you get started. Number 5 is your purpose. Nonprofits get tax-exempt status because they fulfill one of the following purposes: charitable, educational, religious, literary, scientific, prevention of cruelty to animals, testing for public safety, and a couple other teeny tiny ones, but that covers the vast majority of what you will file for. You just need to have an idea of who you want to serve and what you want to do for them so that we can put that in your legal purpose clause and make sure that your nonprofit obtains tax-exempt status. Number 6 is your program. When you file for tax-exempt status, you're going to briefly explain what you intend to do as an organization over the next couple of years. You need to have one main program in mind for how you're going to help people and roughly how it is going to work. This is a rough outline. You just need a general idea, but you do need one specific program in mind that you plan to run as a nonprofit over the next couple of years. Number 7, you need a name. Now, you don't have to decide entirely on a name, but you at least need a couple that you're choosing from so that whoever you work with to file your nonprofit can look at the appropriate trademarks and look at the appropriate databases and websites and social media and see what name works the best for you. But you need to have at least 2 or 3 names in mind that you want for your organization. Now, number 8, if you want to get your nonprofit filing expedited, on average, it takes 6 months or more to get nonprofit status approved by the federal government. You need to make sure that you have an expedite letter. And in order to have an expedite letter with your application, you need to have one or other nonprofit that is going to give you money in your first year. This doesn't have to be a huge amount of money. It can be $100, it can be $500, it can be $1,000, but you should have one business that you know of, including maybe even your own, that is planning to give you money for your nonprofit. If you have that in place, then you can get an expedite and get your nonprofit status significantly faster, even up to 60 to 90 to 30 days instead of waiting 6 months to a year. So those are the 8 things that you need to have in place in order to start filing your nonprofit. Just as a quick recap, you need a primary contact, you need to have 3 board members, you need 3 officers, a president, a secretary, and a treasurer, you need a physical address and a mailing address. You need to define what your purpose is, have an idea of what your program is going to be, have at least one or a couple names in mind, and have one business that is going to commit to giving you some money when you get started. You have all those things in place, you will be ready and prepared to start creating your nonprofit. Now, if you want my sustainable nonprofit startup checklist, just drop a me in the comments below, and I'll make sure you get it. And be sure to hit the bell or hit the like button and keep an eye out for more videos.